Hey guys, welcome back. I'm excited to share with you today this fun little project flip through. I created this fun little traveler's notebook using the Just Saying collection from Rosie Studios. They were very kind and sent me the collection, and it's full of fun and whimsy and perfect for celebrating. And a couple of weeks ago, I celebrated big time. I turned 40. I had an amazing weekend with my friends and family. There's more than 300 photos, guys, from 3 days. So I've got a little bit of work to do, but I thought I would show you the base album before I add all my bits and pieces. I made this about a month or so ago, knowing that this weekend was coming up. I wanted something really special to document it in, and so I created this really fun traveler's notebook, highly inspired by Shara Crane, as you will see as we flip through it. But let me start just by saying this is the cover. It's a little bit chunky, this notebook. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here, and I haven't even started filling it yet. So I have created just a little elastic just to keep everything together and intact for now. I don't know if this will stay, but it has been very handy to kind of keep it all together. So the cover involves just a couple of die cuts. So these are from the die cut pack. And then I hand cut out the 40 and hand stitched that sucker. It took a while. I love the texture of it though. It feels fantastic. I kept the colors on the cover a little bit more on the kind of simple side, purely because everything else inside is going to be super colorful. And I really wanted this cluster to kind of stand out. I also added a little puffy sticker. There's a whole sheet of these little puffy sticker speech bubbles. They are so cute. And of course, it would not be a traveler's notebook of mine if it didn't have sequins somewhere. There are more sequins, but it had to be on the cover as well. It's this tiny little, I'm not even going to call it really a shaker pocket because they're stuffed in there. They don't shake very well. It's just stitched down the side here. So it really is just this, like, it's about a 1-inch strip of sequins. And this is stitched through here. So there's no sequins underneath here, which keeps everything kind of a little bit flatter. And it does stop all of these sequins dropping to the bottom here. So I've added them kind of specifically around here so that they do stay at the bottom and down the side. But it means that most of these sequins sit at the top, which I love. Now, before I go any further, this might be my favorite part of this particular little notebook. I did make a little charm dangle. I just went through my stash of charms and picked out anything that I thought was going to match this collection. So lots of blues, yellows, and pinks. There's little hearts. I've got a star charm from the All Heart collection. Got a little sequin shaker bauble in here. I've also added a couple of bells because I love the noise. It felt really festive to me. I love having this, and it is just attached to the front cover with just an eyelet. So it's sitting maybe ½ an inch from the spine, and it just gives it a little bit enough room to kind of dangle around without affecting it when it flips open. I added a lobster claw on a jump ring so that I can actually remove the charm if I have to. If there was something that I wanted to do to like maybe stamping or something and it was getting a bit bulky, I can remove it if I have to. So that's fun. Now the inside here, see, I can shift it up the road. So on the first page, I have a little tuck spot in here. I've just added a few bits and pieces for now, basically just to remind myself that that is a tuck spot, but more than likely it's going to house photos or journaling. Like I said, there's like 300 photos I've got to troll through. It might end up housing more than one photo. Maybe little photo booklets is an idea that I might end up putting in here, little tag booklets maybe. I'm not sure how I'm going to fit all of these photos in, but that is just, I cut this paper with a border punch. There's a whole lot of machine stitching in here. Basically everything is machine stitched down. I love the texture, but also it made it kind of easier than trying to glue everything in place. So just about every page, in fact I think every page is adhered with stitching around the outside, Also, lots of these embellishments are stitched down as well. So my sewing machine, she got a workout. This page here, this is what I mean by these little embellishments being stitched down. And I also had some little punches that I added in. And as I was creating the pages in this notebook, I was being a little bit conscious of leaving spaces to put photos. And the way I did that was just to create myself some photo templates. So I've got a template for an Instax photo and a 3x4 photo. Those were the ones that I sort of assumed that I would be using the most. And so you can see when I've made these pages, I've made them so that there is a spot to put a photo down without covering up too much. So I didn't want to be doing any kind of like unnecessary work on here because I'm probably going to put a photo and it means that I've done most of the embellishing. I can hopefully just put the photos in, maybe add a few more bits and pieces, but hopefully, fingers crossed, everything should come together really quickly in the end. There are a few pages in here that are a little bit on the plainer side because I don't know what I'm going to put in here yet. These little tags, I've just paper clipped them down for now, so I'll probably be able to add 2 photos in here. They might not be 3x4s, but that's my sort of plan, is to get as many photos in here as possible. The other thing that I could do is add another like giant tag with the journaling on there that would slip into here as well, and that might be journaling about the photo on this side, which you can see I've left a little bit of room for an Instax photo here. This is definitely a Shara kind of page. Little bunches of pretty sequins all stitched down on this gorgeous pink and gold foiled paper. It was just screaming out for sequins. This one, it was already kind of festive enough as it was, but it needed that little bit of extra detail. This is actually from one of the Rosie Studios journaling cards. I used the journaling card as a template for stitching. I stitched all of this, if it will focus. There we go, using a chain stitch, I think it is. That also took a lot of time for stitching. I decided I wasn't going to use it as a journaling card though, so I just hand trimmed that out to create my own little embellishment, which I have just paper clipped on here for now because I'm not sure that's where it's going to go. I added another one of the die cuts from the actual die cut pack. This one is stitched down at the top, so I can slip a photo in underneath like so. I might be able to move this down here. You can see I've left everything really open, but I wanted to make sure that like the hard work, this sort of thing, was already done. Now on this page, again, it looks a little bit simple, but I've added this fabric ruffle and oh, I love the texture. It's so hard to show you in a video, but it is really thick and chunky and just nice to touch. That's what I love about this. It's also only adhered done with the stitching, which means I can tuck some photos into the side of it here, which is going to make things really easy for putting it together in the end. Now I want to jump ahead to the next page, but let's go with this one. These are a few more kind of little tuck spots in here. So I've got 3 spaces that I can add photos or journaling, or maybe some journaling cards like this. I might tuck some die cuts in there. I've got a few, not a huge amount, but a few bits of ephemera. That might be a great place to put those in there as well. Either way, it's pretty versatile. I probably will end up adding some sort of embellishment. There's fun sort of chipboard stickers, or maybe another one of those puffy stickers, something on here anyway, maybe a title. That might be a good place to add a title. I don't know whether I'm going to end up adding a lot of titles or not, so I've left things pretty versatile. Now I did make my own little plastic page protector in here. This one I have split into 3. These are, the front and the back are 2 different journaling cards. But what I have done is just trimmed them down so they're going to fit in here, and also I've trimmed off the rounded corners. They're nice and square. I've just I machine stitched it instead of using my fuse tool. I just felt like that was more permanent, but I have slit this top pocket so that I can pull out the little card here and fill that in and slip it back in, and I might add like an embellishment on this side, and the other side I have added this pretty teal sequin mix so that it matches the pattern paper on the reverse side here, which again is just a little bit simpler because I've got the sequins, although I did add this giant neon pink. It's not even coming off as neon as it is in real life on camera. Giant neon pink pom-pom trim, which I just love. Again, it kind of adds that texture and bulk, and it's just pretty and fun. Now here is some more hand stitching. So I trimmed out these letters just to spell out the word yes. Like, I was keeping everything kind of generic. Again, I don't know what's going to be on this page, so this one, there was a whole lot of guessing going on in the weekend. I figured yes would be appropriate, and I've just hand stitched that again onto the page. Love the texture, it feels so good. And this ice cream paper, so good, so cute. It matches the waffle print perfectly. So the page on this side is actually a pocket. There's a pocket in between these two pages. And in the pocket, I have added a giant tag. So I've added a little bit of that same kind of sparkly confetti looking paper and just a couple of stickers. Today we eat cake. Yes, we did. We ate so much cake. And to make it easy to pull it in and out, I just punched a little hole here, just a half semicircle, so it means it's easier to slip that tag in and out. Now the reverse page, this is the middle of my book. I did hand stitch this notebook all together. I used that where memory keepers, I don't know what it's called, binding tool maybe. I kept the stitches fairly large, so there's only 4 in there. But it's held together with pink thread, and I have left these dangle bits out quite long. I may or may not trim them off, but I thought this might be a fun place to maybe attach some more charms. I don't know, we'll see how we go. And of course this side here I've trimmed into a semicircle. I love that you can kind of see the other pages underneath. And when you flip it over, I have got this like border punch rainbow of papers. I pulled out all my favorite border punches and punched some strips and then adhered those all down to create a multi-pattern page. And on the reverse page of this, I've got this pretty ice cream paper again and another little tuck spot. So this time it's got a paper and a trim. This is an awesome trim that my friend Alice sent me. I love it. It's so puffy and beautiful. And I can just slip a photo, or again, I'm thinking another one of those giant tags in there might work really nicely as well to add some journaling. There's lots of things that I want to write about as well. I know journaling isn't usually like me, but this weekend there was a lot to take in, so I kind of want to write all that down. Now on the reverse page, I used some of the scraps and some of my punches to create these little paper flowers, and they're all held down with little brads. I've got a huge brad collection. I never end up using them. This was a fun opportunity to add some of these floral ones and create these little centers. Now they're not like adhered down, so I'm thinking I'll be able to like tuck a photo in under there, like under the petals, as a way to keep my photo adhered on the page. And then on the other side of that is another one of these sequin pockets. So this page doesn't have the opening at the top. I just added my 2 journaling cards in there. Again, trimmed down a little bit so that the rounded corners disappeared, but also so that I had a little bit more room to add in these sequins. I haven't split the pockets like I normally do to keep the sequins in place, and they seem to be staying really well. I did have to kind of like push the sequins down the side here because it is a very narrow little gap for it, but that seems to have kept everything in place really nicely. So that was a lucky accident, but it works really well. So again, you saw the back of this is just another little journal card. And then on this page, I hand cut these little ice cream drips from that same waffle paper and added some of these puffy stickers from the collection. Sprinkle puffy stickers. Like, I really had to resist my hoarding tendencies with this one, guys. I did not want to use all of the sheet. I used as many as I could bear using, but they are so cute. I just love them. And what I've done again in here is just added a little bit of a cluster of some of the die cuts down the bottom, knowing that I can pop an Instax in there to finish this cluster off. Nearly at the end. It was getting pretty chunky by this point, so I've left this page completely plain so that I can put something together at the end. But this facing page has these die cut holes in there with some star dies, and those are the stars that were used right at the start of the book. So I've repeated that same shape at the back here, and it means you can see through to both sides. So if I put photos on this side, you'll be able to see through here. And then on this side, I've added another kind of little booklet, very small booklet. It's just a fold at the moment, but it's a piece of paper that I folded in half. I'll be able to add journaling or photos. I added a couple of die cuts onto the front here, and I've just paper clipped that onto the page. The other thing that I did add at the top corner of this page was that I had a few little charms left, so I did use those, just again adding a little eyelet at the top and a jump ring, just to add those 3 little charms onto the top. It gives it a little bit more dangle, a little bit more sort of fun at the back here. And my last page just has this wee belly band, which I have popped off my sticker here. Again, this is just to remind me that I can tuck some things in here, probably more than likely a photo. I've just added a few die cuts, one at the top or a couple at the top as well. So this is going to be the perfect size for a photo to pop in here. The last page is just plain with a little bit more pom-pom trim, this time a fun tiny little blue one. And then the back cover has that same punch strip technique, so that echoes into my little round page as well. So that is the base of my notebook. I love it. I'm super excited, not for the process of like printing out photos, because that is going to take me a good long while. If you want to join in the fun of finishing this notebook off, I'm going to put that process up on my Patreon page. So if that's something you've thought about doing and want to see the rest of this come together, then head on over and check it out. Thanks for watching today, guys. Let me know if you've got any questions. I will leave the link to the Rosie Studios Just Saying collection down below in the description box, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye, guys.